And it says we're live. Cool. So there's already a lot of people in the chat congregate to hear this. This is me eating crow. Do it to begin with in the classy way of I'm not going to try to do this backhandedly to begin with. Okay, so what I'm going to say is I made a video where I presented a few bits of evidence where I thought that Jaclyn Glenn did not do her own work and research on a video that she made. And the evidence that I presented were the creepy feeling that I got of methinks thou protest too much when she was giving too much information about how she was following the story. It seemed a little contrived. That was one. She couldn't pronounce Evalion's name after doing enough research to feel like she could make a video about the subject. And Jaclyn Glenn's history of plagiarizing and not crediting sources. Those were my bits of evidence that I had when I said, I don't think that she did the legwork on that one. So Jaclyn Glenn countered with her own video. It's on JaclynVlogs, and it's titled Jaclyn Glenn Sucks. And in it, she came with two bits of evidence. Her own word, lightweight as that is in the evidence world, notwithstanding, and log. Going to say right out that the browser history log, a thing that I brought up, and I'm going to concede that yes, it seems to me credible that she did download those videos on her own prior to Evalion's channel going down. Okay, so I don't think that was very backhanded at all, but if you're going to stick around for the rest of this show, I'm going to shit on any classiness that you just saw there. So if you're one of those too long, didn't watch people, and you just wanted the main point of the show, that was it. You can click away now. And if you're one of those people who just like to see things get not so classy, then this might not be the video for you for the rest of this video. So I'm going to give you guys a moment, some air, and I will in a couple minutes. I got to change my shirt casual for my clients, and I just came off of a turnaround, and I just don't feel like wearing my work shirt in a video. So, and you'll be able to see the descent of my mind into a whole bunch of cynicism and madness. Yay, we're back. I'm assuming that if you've stayed, you actually want to see the depths of cynicism that my mind has gone to on the past 6 years on YouTube and where I'm at here, because it's going to get a little borderline paranoid, and really hyper skeptical of things. And I get that, but yeah, no more classiness. So to begin, I think I'll start with an off-color joke. Everybody likes jokes, right? Okay, so here we go. I don't trust Jaclyn Glenn as far as I can throw her. And I'm sure that if I ever did throw her, Avalion would tweet, "Hey, that guy looks a little Jewish for a spear chucker." Okay. Got the chat here. People had a show 3 minutes ago. Okay. So I watched Jaclyn Glenn's video, and the first thing it reminded me of was a moment at the Renaissance Festival here in Colorado. It's south of Denver. And there's jousters at this Renaissance Festival. They're dressed up in knight's armor. They're on top of horses, but they act like professional wrestlers. They cut promos on each other, and that's most of the show. It's not actually the actual sticks breaking and the horses galloping at each other. It's actually and they have microphones on them, wireless mics, and they come across the PA system. And one of my favorite lines that I've ever heard was from the Green Knight to the Purple Knight. And the Green Knight said to the Purple Knight, "You, sir, are a coward and a villain." And then the Purple Knight prances his horse out in front of the crowd, and he says, "I am not a coward, but I am a villain." And then he gets a laugh with that, right? So, was tweeting about how I there's more weight for Jaclyn Glenn in her argument that she made that video by downloading, beforehand, and her story is true. When I said that and she still wasn't endearing, this is what I meant by that. She still can't pronounce the name of Avalion, right? I mean, even after watching my video, she seems to flippantly think that it's okay to make a video in front of a platform of thousands of subscribers and research to be able to pronounce Avalion's name.
My Twitter's Avalion88. My Twitter's Avalion88. My Twitter's Avalion88.
So, yeah, even after being called out on it, she still thinks, "Oh, it's no big deal that I don't know the person's name or how to pronounce it." She didn't watch the videos, enough to learn the girl's name. And she thinks this is okay. Now, she's given enough evidence to, prove, at least for my standards, that she actually did download the videos before Avalion's channel went down. But in doing so, she shows herself to be the villain in a different way. That she still Avalion's name. And in fact, strangely enough, she says, "Oh, I use this website, KeepVid. I think it's keepvid.com." She fucking trips over her own explanation of the site that she used to download the videos. It's like just started rehearsing the script. You know, this is where I'm going to start to shit all over the classiness of my retraction at the beginning of this stream, because I'm going to point out some of the holes in some of the things she said. Even though I'm admitting there's more weight to her showing a screenshot of her browser history than anything that I said. Suspicions, and she has one little bit of evidence enough to trump my suspicions based on her history. But I think it's fucking brutally strange that she thinks that she's authoritative enough on the subject of Avalion to make a video about her, ridiculing her, showing her to be wrong, right? But she can't even fucking learn her name. You know, she's not exactly her own best friend with that defense. And the next thing I want to talk about with Jaclyn Glenn, in that video, she understands that after being caught plagiarizing, that we don't trust her, right? And here's some quotes from her, you know, because I watched her video again and wrote some of this shit down. She said that she's done a lot to improve since then. She's done some self-reflection. Happen anymore. And why is it so ridiculous to think that I downloaded them before Avalion's channel went down? Well, it's ridiculous because you have a proven history of not doing the leg work your fucking self. That's why. This is the punishment for being caught. People don't fucking trust you. All right? And on top of that, when we're talking about how much she's been self-reflecting and done a lot to improve, when she apologized for plagiarizing, she was minimalizing. In fact, the curator of a widely spread playlist, you know, something that's shared all over, that shows how many different instances of plagiarism she has been caught in. She hasn't admitted to all of those instances. When she went on the Drunken Peasant show, she completely minimalized it and said, "Oh, it was just that one time, and I'm never going to do it again." Yeah, how many more times have come out? More fingers than I have. Okay, and we're going to keep it as understandable as that. Last count from Gary Eppy was like 17 different videos. So I guess she feels that her minimalizing apology was enough of a pen button that she was found out. But my feelings on this are actually, you know, she feels like all she has to do is apologize and do better, and that's it. That's her penance. And my feeling is that she now has a platform that was built on fraud from plagiarizing things, using that platform for her income, saying, "Oh, I'm going to do better now, even though the only reason I have this base that I built up is because I was putting out videos looking like I was authoritative on subjects when I was actually just stealing other people's work." Okay? So what she feels is it's time for us all to move on so that she can make a living making videos. And my counter suggestion to that would be, I feel maybe she shouldn't have that platform to have a career anymore. In any other industry, like, say, journalism, if someone's caught plagiarizing, they lose their fucking shit. They do not get to keep a little bit of their fame and notoriety and their platform and keep making content the same way and have people say, oh, well, that was just in the past. We're going to keep on paying them. But unfortunately, Jaclyn Glenn's channel is too big to fail. She's going to be on the Google algorithm, promoted on the side of other people's videos to a whole bunch of people who have never heard about her before till the end of time, because she was able to amass that base of a channel through fraud. Okay? So I think she needs to be earning $0. She thinks she needs to be making just as much and more as she was before. Right? So we meet somewhere in the middle here. I do, because since October of 2015, when I started my videos outing her for plagiarism, and a whole bunch of other people made videos as well, and I made that playlist to keep people, abreast of all of the different times that she has plagiarized. Since doing that, she has lost half of her income from Patreon. In October of 2015, let's say, October 1st, it was $1,365.85 a month. It is down to $773.66. So we have met somewhere in the middle between our two perspectives on this. Okay? She believes that we all just need to move on and let her earn her money. I believe that she should have lost all the money and all the platform that she had for such egregious plagiarism times. Okay? And now we're somewhere in the middle. So, penance. What do you do in order to come back from plagiarism? When there's people like me out there who think that there's no plagiarism and that's why you don't do it. You do something more than just self-reflection. Maybe make a video series on what plagiarism is and what you're doing to make sure that you don't plagiarize anymore. If you look at her fucking content from October 15, you see a marked change in the type of content that she's put up. It's like she wants to get away from anyone who has an intellectual interest in her channel, and she's made a lot of more fluff, and more responding to the topic du jour than she did. She used to put herself out as a skeptic using other people's work. The change in her channel after she was caught plagiarizing, it seems like she's running away from that entire genre of putting out information instead of putting out entertainment. So that's where she wants to go. She wants to try to salvage that career that she built on fraud. And she says that she doesn't think she's ever heard of me. In her video, Jaclyn Glenn Sucks, that she put out yesterday, she says that she doesn't think that she's ever heard of me. Well, who I am to Jaclyn Glenn, I'm the one with the playlist that's made sure that she's lost half of the money that she's making on Patreon in less than a year. And whoever I find out is giving her money, I'll share that playlist with them. Some informed decision of whether or not they want to give their money to somebody who built their platform and plagiarism. I actually liked when she said that she didn't want yogurt, like that little moment of life in her video. That was funny when she clicked on my yogurt ad. I just remember that. But what I didn't like about another thing that she said You know, she thinks that she can talk about Evalion to pronounce Evalion's name, which proves that she didn't watch Evalion's videos, or at least all of them, because she doesn't know how to pronounce her name, and she spoke her name in those videos all the time. But she thinks that she can make a response to my video, and then in her response say, oh, well, I didn't even watch the whole video. Right? And that gives her enough authority to fucking respond to it. Again, her defense of herself looked like more seriously. And I've grown very cynical in the 6 years that I've been on it. I know that there's a lot of people who start on YouTube and they don't last as long as me because they feel like they're bound for stardom and they're going to get that viral hit and they're going to grow just as fast as Jaclyn Glenn's channel did. And seeing all those people with stars in their eyes, I've grown very cynical, and I'm not leaving. I've got over 2,000 videos, but it does get to you when you have to realize that money and ad revenue is the reason why we have people making fucking list videos and plagiarizing like fucking Matthew Santoro. And we've got people plagiarizing like Jaclyn Glenn and just things in front of an audience that they're building because they can't do their own research and keep up that pace. And they show it time and again. So they start borrowing other people's work. And it's money in the equation that has made it this way. So I'm all for Jaclyn Glenn not making any more money on YouTube anymore. I'll put that right out there. That's my end of the spectrum. Her end of the spectrum is making all the money in the world. Way. So, yeah, my cynicism here, to give you a little example of like what kind of things that we entertain me with as much time as I've had YouTube. I'm going to bring up a conversation that I had with Feminist Flo on Twitter. Just after Jaclyn Glenn up her video, Jaclyn Glenn Sucks, and showed her browser history, Feminist Flo said, oh yeah, I downloaded Jaclyn Glenn's video last year. You know, the video that she made yesterday, I downloaded it last year. And then he showed me a picture that he took. And I know that you can fake a log, okay? Firebug to fake a log before just to make it look like I had $1 million in my bank account just for fun, right? There's all sorts of tools where you can fake logs. That it's a possibility. This is one of Feminist Flo's theories about this, not mine. But I'll grant that it's a possibility that the evidence that is more weighty than mine that shows that Jaclyn Glenn, you know, had that browser history could have been faked. It's a possibility. I give it a little bit more credence because Jaclyn Glenn is making so much goddamn money on YouTube. Enough to live on. And if you're threatened, you have motive to protect it. You know, and she rushed home, made a video response to me as soon as I threatened that livelihood by saying, you know what, this looks like another instance of her not doing the legwork for her own videos. And I can't rule it out. And my cynicism actually makes me wonder even more. You know, that's how fucking bad the cynicism has gotten into my head. Okay? But speaking of Feminist Flo here, in Jaclyn Glenn's video, Jaclyn Glenn Sucks, on her JaclynVlogs channel, she asserted that Feminist Flo stole Evalion's videos by downloading them and re-uploaded them and that Feminist Flo was in the wrong anyway, right? And then she has this moment where, like, even if I did steal them from Avalion, it wouldn't matter, right? And that's kind of like O.J. Simpson writing the book, If I Did It. That's one of those moments. She's seriously not doing good at defending herself. So Feminist Flo actually is a personal, real-life friend of Avalion, right? Knows her personally and got fucking permission to archive her fucking videos, right? So is Jaclyn Glenn going to make a retraction video like I am right here? I thought that maybe Feminist Flo had stolen those videos, but now I've been proven to be wrong because Feminist Flo had permission to do it. Jaclyn classy enough to do that? No, she's probably done with this. Just like she blocked Feminist Flo and me on Twitter, she really does not want to hear that there's that plagiarism out there anymore, because the more people hear about it, the less money she makes on Patreon. So yeah, what did I learn here from this whole experience? What did I learn? I learned how much I don't like plagiarists. That's what I learned. So much that I'm not afraid of being wrong in saying, I don't think that plagiarist, that known plagiarist, did that work on their own. And if I'm pleasantly surprised, I'm okay with that. If they can prove me wrong, fine. So, let's see. One last note about her video before I take some questions from the chat. She did mention Canadian Atheist's video, which is in the playlist. And I'm going to let Canadian Atheist's video stand and let him discuss that aspect of her video on his own. There's more to the context of that story than she put out in her video. And yeah, it's all in Canadian Atheist's video. So go ahead and look for it in the playlist if you want to know what she was talking about. Okay, so anyone in the chat that wants to ask me a question, go ahead right now. Start now. Because if you asked a question before I didn't see it, it scrolled up. How's your arse for love bites? I don't even understand that question, but at least you got me to say it. Hopefully you can cut that out and take me out of context and quote mine me there. Put it in some montage video. My question for AOD, are you the Bob Vila or Billy Mays of psychology? Sorry, I was actually going for Seth Rogen. As far as like tone, What's worse, Suboxone or methadone? Methadone, because my clients can't stay awake in class, but Suboxone does not put them to sleep. What role do tits and cats play in YouTube popularity? Jaclyn has both, and you have neither. You know, I don't even know that there's a way to put a finger on what makes people popular on YouTube, even taking into consideration someone's handsome appearance or the animals that they have put on their channel. There's so many people who try to recreate that formula, and they can't recreate it. You know, it's like if it were verifiably true, if you could just make your own cats playing piano channel and have views and subscribers skyrocket, then I would say that's the secret. But there's tons of cat video channels out there that have no subscribers. And most of the cat video channels that I see that have most of the subscribers are stealing other people's content and putting them into montages. Why does the inability to say an uncommon word detract from an argument? Because that uncommon word was said properly dozens of times in Evalion's videos, and it would prove that she had watched the videos if she could repeat the name. Okay? Yes, Beery, I am an addiction specialist of sorts. I'm a registered psychotherapist and a certified addiction counselor in the state of Colorado. Live Life wants to know what's going on because he's late to the party. Is Jaclyn going to try to live entirely off the YouTube audience now? I guess that depends on what her standard of living is. I know plenty of YouTubers who need money worse than her and have made better content than her that have less than $700 a month to their name, you know, and they get by on that. And that's not counting her ad revenue, which, you know, you can use Social Blade to calculate that part. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about the ad revenue because she's got a channel that's too big to fail. And once a channel gets that big, you can't prove to the world that Matthew Santoro plagiarized all of his shit from Listmania, you know, or Listverse. You can't prove that to everyone and then have him not get any income, because for time immemorial, because of YouTube's algorithms, he's going to be promoted and he's going to make money off of his old videos. Even the ones that people prove that were plagiarized, he's still going to make money. Beery wants to know, what do I think of food addiction compared to chemical addiction? It's on the same spectrum. 8 days of abstinence to feel like I could comfortably be in the presence of a Mountain Dew. And right now I'm working on the fruit juice that I replaced the Mountain Dew with, on lessening that and myself off of that, drinking more water. And it's a process, you know. It's really hard to go vegan, in my experience. Happy Jesus wants me to mention Seabiscuit. Tisnogons wants to know if Jaclyn Glenn was associated with Richard Dawkins' network. Richard Dawkins actually tweeted out that Jaclyn Glenn was a rising star once. And that was one of her claims to fame, and it really got a lot of people over to her channel. And that was with Richard Dawkins saying her channel was a good one, even though there was, you know, work on her channel plagiarized from Richard Dawkins. You know, of course he thought that her words looked really good. They were his. And that's one of the videos in the playlist, by the way, that I made. Did I ever have time for JC? Not JC, Jaclyn Glenn. Did I ever have time for her? Don't understand the question. There once was a time. See, Jaclyn Glenn said that she doesn't remember me or know my name or anything, but there actually once was a time where for a week or so we were actually in groups hanging out on like Skype, and it was me and her friend Fruity K has fallen out of her life. Fruity K actually used to be a really good friend of hers, you know, and this is when she was a much smaller YouTuber. But she's of course forgotten us because she's, you know, head in the clouds up here, and fuck those little people that she used to hang out with. Could you live life without bacon, Mike? I do. I make everything that I cook with Bacos. It's a soybean-based bacon substitute. And if you fry things in olive oil with Bacos on it, like I like Brussels sprouts, olive oil, Bacos, and Tony Chachere's. That's one recipe. It's like 4 ingredients. The Bacos in the olive oil, it works. It's like it'll fool anyone into thinking that it's bacon, real bacon. So yeah, I live without bacon. I use substitute bacon. Happy Jesus 123 says, would I have sex with Tobuscus for E-fame? I would probably pick someone else, someone who might be a little less violent during the encounter. You know, from what I've heard, I'm just saying, I like things a little bit more sensual and soft. I'm one of those kind of cuddly teddy bear types. I don't really like violence. Who is JC that you're asking me about? You're going to have to write that out. Why did I film the Cocaine Anonymous convention and post it to YouTube with faces being shown? The only faces that I showed in that video were actually officers of Cocaine Anonymous that are not anonymous. That was actually the president of Cocaine Anonymous that I zoomed in on there. And that was a convention that was open to the public. There actually was a marathon meeting happening in another room in that hotel where the anonymity part would have been important. But I was not the only cameraman there. They brought their own cameras, okay? And they filmed that thing so that they could have their own publicity. This was open to the public. They invited police officers. They invited people that were addiction specialists like myself. They invited families. There's no way to tell who was actually having a problem or not there, especially from the backs of people's heads, if that's what you were worried about. What are my thoughts about YouTube drama? Drama is part of life, and so is how you deal with it. Huck's looking at a bottle of Jack Daniels and trying to think of a reason not to have a drink. Guessing you're drinking alone. Couldn't you invite someone over and have somebody in like a social drinking manner over? Because if you're drinking alone, that's one of those signs that we look for. If you're drinking socially we don't look at it as bad as you know, when you're craving it, when you're absolutely alone in your house, or you're, you know, your only friends are on the internet. That's the problem. You know, AOD, would you have sex with Jaclyn's skeleton for e-fame? Maybe not for e-fame, but I just had the image in my head of, you know, if somebody did have sex with her, they would be able to see their penis going in and out of her, like on the outside of her skin, like right where her belly is, like when a snake swallows a mouse. That's the image that just crossed my mind right there. I am very pro baked potatoes for people who are of that stature. I'm just saying. If I meet Jaclyn Glenn, I promise to buy her a baked potato, not a beer, though. Maybe a diet lemonade, but a baked potato. Let's see. Where is the playlist? It's on my channel. Hey, I know that it was uncalled for what I just shared there, but you guys are asking the questions, and that's directing where the conversation's going. Well, if alcohol keeps you away from heroin, Huck, we would call that harm reduction. So I'm going to say, as long as it's keeping you away from heroin, stick with it, and then we'll work on your alcohol addiction later. Harm reduction is important. You know, if I can just get a heroin addict to use clean needles, I call that a win sometimes, because they'll tell you to your face, no, I'm not going to quit. But, you know, at least you can get them to do it safer. Classes on getting Narcan, because there's needle programs that will add Narcan in one needle to the stack of needles that they give out for free, and they can revive one of their friends that's OD'd with Narcan. And there's whole programs for that, but you have to take classes. And if we can get someone to, maybe they're going to still use heroin, but they'll use it in a safer way, that's harm reduction. That's a win. We'll work on the rest the next day. Weed keeping you from murder? Well, it's still harm reduction, but not in the substance use strictly sense. It is harm reduction, though, in a broader sense. I haven't seen Deadpool. Sorry, Sea Beach, can't comment on it. Although I do know of Deadpool from the comics, and I didn't really like breaking the fourth wall as a gimmick. I feel like it's not really technical writing there, unless they could do something new and innovative with it. I like shows that don't break the fourth wall, and comics that don't break the fourth wall. What do I think future historians will say about this generation? I think that they're going to say, holy fucking shit, that's a lot of information that got saved for us with the internet. You know, I feel like they're going to say, wow, if you just look 50 years earlier, enough information out there that like one person Yes, Zeromancer, your question killed me. For some reason, a glitch happened, and I went away because of your question. If you put up a question in those moments and I didn't see it, post your question again because I'm just reading as things scroll up. Until I answer your question, post it again. What do I think about Jaclyn Glenn's ovaries and how they'll be seen by historians? I don't know that they'll think much of them unless she has a kid. And I don't even know if she has a kid or wants to. Why am I hating on breaking the fourth wall? Because it was innovative back when Shakespeare did it at the end of The Tempest. And I feel like it's lazy writing just as much as non sequiturs on say The Family Guy, when they just cut to like a scene from the 80s and everyone who lived through that is like, woohoo, that's funny. It's not fucking funny to me if it doesn't make sense. So non sequiturs are just something that don't impress me at all. Mephisto wants to know if I lived in Wisconsin before. Yes, I have, from 2003 to 2008. And I attended University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Thank you, Halcyon, but that was not in the form of a question. But I agree that Jaclyn Glenn's reputation is tarnished. Huck wants to know what I have against bacon. I think that maybe those Bronze Age goat herders, when they were writing that you shouldn't eat bacon into their social mores and holy books, maybe they were onto something, because bacon seems to add the weight to me. And right now I'm trying to lose some weight with a targeted goal, and bacon is not on the menu. I like Wisconsin in the summertime because it's green and it's like springtime in other places. Thanks for asking and commenting, Lucas. I've never had a marijuana spatula berry, so I can't say that anything about them. Maybe hemp might make a good spatula, but I prefer ones with silicone in them, in the designs, because it works for me. Only you think that bacon is a weight loss catalyst. It hasn't worked that way for me. Bacon has actually, or even ham, even Canadian bacon and lean ham, seem to stick to my body. And also portion control when you're eating bacon. It's like 3 strips as a serving versus other food where you get a lot more quantity that makes you feel a lot fuller before you want to eat more than 1 serving. So I feel like bacon isn't really good if you have portion control issues. Brian, no, I don't plan to resume the bacon once I reach my target weight, because I find it so easy to add the bacos to my Brussels sprouts, which is a staple in my diet that I eat at least once a week. I like to make the Brussels sprouts, frying them in the olive oil on my stove while the fish is baking in the oven. And I eat a lot of salmon. Once a week I eat salmon. I like avocados, but my brother is allergic to them, so not the greatest food to him. I don't think that there's any connection between me having a beard and not eating bacon and me possibly being a Muslim. I hadn't made that connection. Oh, that's nice. A little plain emoji with 2 building emojis. Ugh. How would I feel if people started referring to me using neo-pronouns? I don't know, but I saw a video recently that made me want to refer to the Phantom Lion as fur self. The fur and fur self pronouns seem to fit the Phantom Lion really well. Yes, my brother is allergic to avocados in guacamole form, and he's also allergic to latex. And apparently there's a correlation for most people that are allergic to avocados and latex. They're allergic to the other one as well. I didn't see the new Batman movie. Is Phantom Lion still around? Felinoid, the Phantom Lion imposter, likes to make videos for Phantom Lion and keep his channel alive. And I have no idea why he's done it for so long, because he has his own channel that he could be growing. But he fills in. It's one of the longest collaboration channels that I've seen on YouTube, where these two will share that channel. And so Phantom Lion makes like 1 out of 30 videos on that channel now. I may still have to watch the new Batman movie, especially when it's in the red box, because sometimes I am tasked at work to run a free time for clients where we get to do things for them, like go down the street to the red box and get them some movies, and I won't at least be paying for it in the theater. So at least I won't pay for it like an exorbitant price. So am I worried that pigs might become extinct? Not so much pigs, domesticated pigs. No, maybe boars and javelinas. They're the ones that have less and less habitat, but domesticated animals get more and more as we keep eating more of them. Beery says 2 words, AOD, Pirate Bay. I am a fan of Pirate Bay, and I am not a fan of intellectual property laws as they are in the United States, and I'm a fan of libraries. So if you could put some more movies in a library or more books in a library and share it with people that way, I feel like you should be able to share other things as well over the internet, as if the internet were a library. And I'm not very into people making money off of pressing DMCAs on people. Yes, I miss Exiled and Brian. I wish that I could take them to some of the places that I've seen after they left the United States. But I do think that maybe I want to go see some of the things that they've seen in the UK since we've last seen each other. And maybe it's my turn to go over there rather than Brian's turn to come over here, because he has me beat 2 times to 0. Yeah, a lot of things like the Pirate Bay aren't under the original control of the original owners. It's really hard for the original owners to control shit when they're in prison. Sabella, I am not going to visit you in Florida probably before I go to the UK because I just feel like going to the UK first. I'm sorry I don't shill my Patreon or eBay a lot, Sea Beach. In fact, I was just thinking about that because I was thinking about Brett Keane having no teeth and how there's a Patreon to pay him for that because TJ doesn't want to pay out of his own money for his own bet, so he wants his fans to pay for shit. But what made me think about that is I'm actually having dental work tomorrow, and I've had some oral surgery lately, and my dental work tomorrow is going to cost like $500 fucking dollars with insurance, but it's going to be so fucking worth it because I have a chipped tooth from it used to be a softball injury, but then the filling fell out, and the cap that they put on the side of my tooth, it fell off. So then it just kind of got worse and worse on that tooth, and I'm getting it fixed tomorrow. But over the course of my life, that shit's going to cost $100 here, $500 there, and maybe one day I'll have to yank it and get a prosthetic tooth, and that's going to cost like thousands. And I was like, wow, I've actually like saved up my own money and paid for my fucking dental work, rather than even entertain the thought like, wow, I've got 9,000 YouTube subscribers. One of them might want to pay for my shit. And I felt really good about just saving up my own money. So AOD check Skype. Okay. In Skype, Brett Keane has invited me to another 8-hour long Google Hangout. Blue Chat is talking probably about Seabiscuit and Cogito Ergo. Are you not sending me messages to the right Skype account? Because I only have one and it's not hard to find. It's the same as my YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I'm not going to direct Hangout links for people to join today because I do need to go to sleep soon, and I don't actually enjoy people popping in and putting in like penis pumps, like happened on the last Hangout that I was in where it wasn't moderated this way. That was in a Brett Keane Hangout. Probably has my name in the title because he name drops me every time I show up. So look for that one. Oh, you want me to check Blue Chat? Okay. So wait a second as all the comments load because you guys fucking flap your yaps all the time, and it takes a while for all of these comments to load every time I check that. Okay. You want me to see asknonbinary.tumblr.com/pronouns. Okay. every set of which we are aware for pronouns. Is the phantom lion an animal or a creature? I'm gonna go with creature. Oh, I like this one. Vam and vamp self. That's pretty good. We could use that on him if we wanted him to think he was cooler. Harp and harpy self. Guess who I'd like to use that one on? Anyways, enough of that. I don't even want to click on something called destroy the system that's spelled like cisgendered. Fuck that. No, I don't want to click on it. Is redcoat on the list? I believe the pronouns for redcoat are sir and sirloin. You are a demi-queer transcend gendered polyaromantic female Jaclyn Glenn. What? Yeah, it's much easier that Fashy right there just identifies as a toaster. Chalkball wants to know how old I am. Chalkball wants to know, will I do a video tour of the books behind me? I actually have done a couple video tours of books on my channel. It's just that I have like 2,000 videos on my channel, and it's hard to find anything on my channel anymore. I've actually, a funnier video tour of books I did was on my brother's ex-wife and her collection of Sylvia Browne books, which was fucking hilarious. Okay, I will respect your identity as a shit lord. Okay. Hi, Broke 2. So if anyone has any more questions, I'm going to give like 5 more minutes to it. And then I got to go lay down because I've had a long day. I did not check my privilege with a BuzzFeed test, but if you want to link me to the BuzzFeed test by tweeting me, I promise I will take it tomorrow. Maybe I'll even make a video for you. Just for only one Wi-Fi. I don't know what No Man's Sky is, or No Man's Sky is. I seriously don't know what No Man's Sky is. I don't watch a lot of ads because I use ad blockers, and sometimes I don't know what's going to be in theaters. Repeat your question if I haven't seen it, because things are scrolling a little fast for me. There's a lot of you in the chat. Feminist Flo wants to be on the stream to talk about the video, and I will actually let him do that. Give me a second. And this is weird. I'm going into a Google product to capture a URL to then go onto Twitter, where I know Feminist Flo better, and I'm going on to a different company's product to give the link to this. It's, man, the world we live in. Fashy asks, how do I feel about Jaclyn Glenn? In this perspective of intense cynicism, I feel like Jaclyn Glenn will say or do anything in order to keep her hands onto the platform that she grew with plagiarism, and she wants to try to change it into, you know, something that's less volatile than people bringing up her plagiarism anymore. So she's going to start making more fluff videos, and I just feel like she got lucky, because if that plagiarism shit had come out when she had less than 10,000 subscribers, she would have been done for. But her channel's too big to fail, and that's how I feel about her. She deserves worse than she has gotten. Okay, Feminist Flo, I just gave you the Hangout link on Twitter. You're the only one that I've invited in here, except for Exiled was in here when I was learning how to make her a mod, so that she could banhammer all the crazy people out of my chat. Probably one in particular. Oh, Exiled says Jaclyn's video is down. Maybe it's because I just poked some holes in it and she realized that people were going to look at it. Oh, well. What do I think of the drunken peasants having her on a recent episode? I just the same thing as I answered before. I don't play because she plagiarized. I don't think that you get to come back from something like that in any other part of life as unscathed as she has. You don't just apologize and move on. Okay, it's really a serious fucking infringement. And yeah, enough. Hello, Feminist Flo.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Good.
Am I the one who's echoing?
Am I the one who's echoing?
What's that?
Am I echoing or it's on your side?
It's on my side.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I missed the beginning of your stream. I was taking a nap, so I don't know what you said exactly. Can you just quickly sum it up?
Well, one of the things that I pointed out in my video, in the stream, was how you had commented on Jaclyn's video that you actually had permission to use Avalion's videos, and she was claiming that you stole them. So it was okay for her to steal them from you because you stole them first.
Yep, and I'm writing an article about that. It's just been taking a while because I've got made promises to people to be on streams today and keeps taking me away. I can read exactly a quote from that video, and it's a textual quote, so I didn't clean it up. So she says, even if I did take it from this person's channel, like, which I didn't, but even if you did, they ripped her video from her channel. They downloaded her video and took it from her, you know? So it's still, I don't know. It's such a weird situation. Like, that is. I don't think that's really allowed on YouTube. I don't know. I didn't watch any of their videos. I don't know if they commented on it or just downloaded it and re-uploaded it. But I know according to YouTube, you're not allowed to download and re-upload videos unless they're your own and you have your own personal archive channel. I know people do it all the time. If she wanted to, she could flag that video and have it taken down, or somebody else could do it saying it's not their content. So technically she's not wrong, except that she forgets the part where I had permission from Evalion to do it. And basically also the last part, or somebody else could do it. That sounds like she's encouraging people to go flag me. But I don't know if YouTube would take that into... Yeah, so I don't know if YouTube would take that into account because, well, I've never been in that situation. Because I've been doing that a couple of times recently. I mirror videos from beginning YouTubers to get them more visibilities. Like today, Modern Medusa, she was at 95 subs before I mirrored her message to Feminist video. And within 3 hours, she went up to 127 subs. So that's what, almost a 50% increase. So I've used that technique before with their permission always to give them more visibility. Like her video on my channel got twice as many views in 3 hours than she got in 3 days. So, and nobody ever said anything. I've never been flagged for that because, yeah, I've had their permission to. And even if those videos were taken down, well, I can just justify it by saying, look, I've got their permission. Here's a written statement that they gave me. And same thing would apply to Evalion. She gave me permission during a Skype conversation that, well, I haven't recorded it because that would be a breach of privacy. So, because it happened where before some people have recorded their private conversations and then tried to blackmail her after that. So that would be really, really wrong if I had done something like that, especially in that case with her. But yeah, see, the thing is, in that statement that I read earlier, Jaclyn Glenn says a couple of times, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
The difference between you and Jaclyn Glenn in this respect is that Jaclyn Glenn can't even pronounce the girl's name, and you've interviewed the girl personally on your channel as an origin story.
Yeah, not only that, she became a personal friend of mine because she's not too far from me. I was supposed to go visit her this summer before boyfriend came to visit from Germany, which kind of, well, she's busy with her boyfriend, I understand. And if I was her boyfriend that flew, what, 8 hours or 12 hours, 8 hours, I think, from Germany, I wouldn't want some random friend to come up and be in the way. No, there was even, we're just friends, by the way. I know there was even some rumors for a while that we were dating. It even made it in some videos, like in the article that I wrote for the Ralph Retort when she got banned. I mentioned, I show a couple of those tweets and even one clip from a video where somebody says, oh, by the way, his favorite country is Israel. So when you two go on honeymoon, I hope you don't mind the Jews around. So, yeah, she's a personal friend of mine. And I need to specify that I don't agree with her views. I don't share her views. But I like her as a person. She's nice when she doesn't go on a racist rant. She's really nice. Like, also I'm friends with some feminists, some BLM people. And I can separate the ideology from the person.
Well, even Nazis had family picnic day, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And see, my issue with Jaclyn Glenn right now is that she admits openly in her statement that she didn't do any research whatsoever, and she didn't even know I existed 2 days, a day before, or even that same day. And also, I highlight in the article, I was that close to finishing it. I just needed to get it approved by Ralph because he's visiting his girlfriend in London right now. So he's up at weird hours. Well, weird hours to me. And he's got better things to do than to read my article. So basically, yesterday when it all happened, I was kind of busy. I had a backlog of videos to edit, and I released a bunch of videos. So the only comment I made about what you said was when I asked what after your initial tweet. That's the most, how could I say, opinionated statement that I made about all this is what. Then after that, I asked her for comments. Sorry?
That what question was enough to get you blocked.
Oh, it happened much later, after her video was released. Then I asked her for comments. Then she replied, I downloaded them several days before making that video when her videos were still up. To that, I immediately replied, hey, Jaclyn, could you DM me? I'm sure we can sort this out. Which is not aggressive or confrontational. I would just have liked to hear about it because I didn't even see her video at the time. So I wasn't sure, and if she would have told me which videos she used as clips in her own video, I would have told her immediately, no, I didn't put that on my site because I would have gotten flagged and my channel would have been taken down like Evalians. So that's why on my channel, I put only the neutral videos, like the one where she says she's got a Twitter account, and the one where she does a tribute to her cat that recently passed away, which, funnily enough, those two videos have been flagged and restricted from some countries. So I guess in Germany and Israel and French territories, it's illegal for a girl to make a video about getting a Twitter account.
I do want to point out part of this Twitter exchange that I screenshot on my phone. It's a tweet from Jaclyn Glenn that happened 3-4 on the 23rd of May. And it says, and I quote, I can use browser history, download files, etc.
Yes.
So in that, what I read there was the way that she got these videos was after Evalian's channel went down, she used her browser history to download the files because she could get to them that way. And I was like,
basically, her browser history just saved the link.
But then she came out with her video with her browser login. I thought maybe didn't know how to explain herself, because what it sounded like was a contradiction to her saying that she downloaded them beforehand. The way that it's written like a contradiction, but I feel like what she meant was different than what she wrote on that tweet.
Yeah. I think she meant that she has logs that she can show when she did it. But the fun thing is I sent you and both, also I sent her to a screen cap that I made. Her video called Jaclyn Glenn Sucks, which is her video that she released yesterday. I used the same type of evidence, like the last date modified. And the date modified for that video is May 23rd, 2015.
And there are many different ways to manipulate that stuff if you are motivated to.
And it's not even Photoshop. It's basically I rolled back the date on the computer before downloading the video. So it shows that it was downloaded a year ago.
I think Firebug is something that's a lot easier to change the dates on as many files as she showed.
Yeah.
This is getting really, I don't even feel like this is what happened, but if I was going to try to wrap my head around her conspiring to fake evidence, then that's what I would think she would use.
Yeah.
And it stands to reason that she has a lot of tech-savvy friends, being a YouTuber as large as she is, that can
Yeah.
teach her how to do that. She has a lot of time on her hands because she's a professional YouTuber. You know, it's...
Yeah, exactly. Except
I'm-
that in this case, it's really besides the point. Like, even I say that I can read the quote straight from my article that hasn't been published yet. So that's besides the point in a way, just showing that her evidence could have been faked very easily by rolling back the computer clock of a few days, months, or even years. But luckily, she had used different videos than the ones I mirrored on my channel. So whether her evidence is credible or not is absolutely of no consequence here.
Yep.
Yes, just pointing out the fact that if it had been the exact same videos that I had on my channel, then it would have been a little bit touchier, especially that way when it can be disproven easily.
Mhm.
But it's not the case, at least. And that I'm not afraid to admit. After I saw the name of the videos that she used in her video, I immediately knew that...
Well, I also found a more likely source for anyone to get all of Avalion's videos, which was a Dropbox link.
Yes.
And that has far more videos than you've mirrored. And it was a more likely source, but my video as well.
Yeah, yeah, because because I was one of the person that kind of first brought attention and awareness to the fact that something was happening, because everybody kind of knew about the Onision video that had been published the day before, and nobody was making a big deal out of it. They thought, okay, that's ridiculous. Onision is just being a virtue signaling person that he is. I don't really want to insult him, even if I want to, but yeah, so let's say he's the person that he is. So then nobody was taking it really seriously, and that night I was watching one of Evalion's video because somebody has told me that she mentioned me, and she mentions me in 3 different videos because we're friends, and she was trying to help my channel grow up by mentioning the interview that we did, which is up to, I think, 85,000 views now. Before it got restricted in some countries, then it lost lots of views because of that. Yeah, and so I started to watch it in the evening. Then I was like, okay, that's I got other things to do. I'll just continue it the next day. So the next morning, I refreshed the browser, and oh, surprise, our video was restricted in my country. I was like, wait, that's never a good sign usually, because I started to watch that same exact video the night before. So I started to raise awareness because I thought, no, that's not a good sign, because usually they start doing that. Then after that, that's just a temporary measure until they can find enough correlation points like that. Let's say too many videos are restricted, then they move on to a ban or a suspension. So I raised the awareness about it. I rallied the troops that are all for free speech, even if YouTube is a private company that can enforce the kind of speech that they want. It doesn't matter, because at least even the video that I was watching at the time wasn't considered hate speech. Even like the video of her cat that got restricted in some countries, or the video where she says she's got a Twitter account got also restricted. And I think it's because of mass flagging that happened on my channel. People don't like her. I've seen all kinds of insults. Even people think I'm a Valion, and I get hate mail all day long. It's kind of surprising. And I just mirrored mostly her neutral videos, like those 2 I mentioned, and the ones about anti-feminism, because that's basically what my channel is devoted to. Most of the people that I interviewed for my Origin series are anti-feminist. I did a couple of feminists like Kevin Logan and Mikey B. And I even did some ex-Muslims like Introverted Smiles and Skepo, and she's also an ex-Mormon. I interviewed some trans people like, again, Mikey B and Frozen Binary. So it's varied people, like YouTubers that have an interesting story or an interesting style of making videos. So I'd interviewed Evalion also because it's one of our common friends that introduced us. She had been on his stream before with her ex-boyfriend and current boyfriend. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so yeah, those videos, anti-feminist videos. But fun thing is that some people completely disagree with her views of anti-feminism. They say, yeah, the video is good, but no, she's still a Nazi. That video needs to be taken down. And I asked a couple of people in the anti-feminism community, kind of as a joke comment, hey, should we try to vet everybody who's making anti-feminist videos now? Before they're allowed to open a channel, should we make them fill a questionnaire to make sure that they don't have questionable views other than anti-feminism? Kind of as a joke. And I think the criticism is not deserved for those videos, at least. Yeah, okay, she had more hateful views that can be well, could I say, views that I don't even agree with myself. But at least for the videos I posted, they should be judged at face value for their content. Like her video for the fat acceptance against the fat acceptance movement doesn't even mention any race or Jews like the others or things like that. But some people, it's still got tons of dislikes, which I don't really care. But some people have reported it also, I'm sure. Got that comment, reported, she's a Nazi, her channel has been banned. So I think some people, I just don't get it. Why some people are so butthurt about that. Yes, she made some questionable videos that I agree with, but some of her videos were really good, actually, and compared to some other videos made by, could I say, professional or full-time anti-feminists.
I like the current year.
Sorry?
Current year.
Yes.
Current year was good.
Yes. Yeah, she's made some really good videos, and she was aiming for a diverse audience. Like, she even made a video about Banksy, the graffiti artist. And so she had, because I knew her personally, I knew that she had more, how could I say, she was deeper than just what people would see as a national socialist. She had other interests like anti-feminism, and at least the way that she explained it to me and that I see it, like some people would say that the anti-feminist community goes hand in hand with anti-Muslim, anti-Gatorgate, anti-Muslim and Gamergate and things like that. Communities that are for free speech and against many things. And for her, she would even tack on National Socialism to that. She saw it as the extension of all those other parts, other topics that go hand in hand together. So yeah, and
I just want.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for on, but I just pulled a double on a turnaround, and I need to get some sleep.
Yep. Okay. All right. Just to sum it up, yeah, no. Some people have actually asked me to apologize, and I'm not sure what I should apologize for. I've never made any accusation against Jaclyn Glenn. I actually like her videos, even though she has an history of plagiarism, which, well, yeah, it's kind of worrisome. But no, I like some of her videos. I don't watch them full time, but I'm subscribed to her. But to go whatever way like that, and to admit that she doesn't know me, she doesn't know my videos, but that to accuse me of misconduct like that, and that I violate the YouTube terms of service, while in the same sentence admitting that she's not sure, but she still goes on with it, she runs with it. So that, I don't think it's acceptable. And the comment that I made in her video was that, yeah, I'd like a retraction. Because she did it, and still, even if it's her secondary channel, she did it in front of 43,000 subscribers. And today I've had about a loss of 50 subscribers, which is a lot more than what I usually get. And so I think her video has had an impact on my channel already. So yeah, I would definitely
do retraction.
Sorry?
Hopefully she's classy enough to do a retraction. I just did
so.
with this video, but
I hope so. A retraction, or even if just contacting me, because she, after I asked her, wait, why did you accuse me like that when I didn't accuse you? That's when she blocked me. It's as if I had caught her saying something that she shouldn't, caught her saying, putting her foot in her mouth, and then she panicked and blocked me. I'm still surprised that she didn't delete my comment from her video, actually. And I made a tweet about that. I said, let's see how long this comment will go and will stay up. And I posted a screen cap of it. Yeah, so, you know, definitely I'd appreciate a retraction, and I think it would be well-deserved. Or just contact me personally by DM. That would be a great step already, because if she had DM'd me earlier, it would have taken 2 minutes for us to talk and avoid this. You wouldn't have had to take the time to make a video. She wouldn't have had to take the time to make a video. It would have been beneficial for everybody involved in all this. And I could have said I and maybe fanboy a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not that much of a fanboy of hers. But yeah, she's kind of, like I called her before, kind of a D-list e-celeb. Compared, that I mean about the general YouTuber community, because she's got 400,000 subs, which is roughly equivalent to Sargon, which is a smaller subset of the YouTube community, the anti-feminist community. But her, she aims at the the atheist community, which is bigger. But also, if we take YouTube as a whole, she's still a small fish. She doesn't have millions and millions of subscribers like PewDiePie or even Onision. But yeah, I definitely appreciate a retraction. Or even while it happened, I made a video on the message to feminists, and I challenged her. I thought it was funny. I challenged her in that video, or sorry, nominated her to make a video of her own. So if she wants to make nice without admitting that she was wrong, if she makes that message to feminist videos, I would assume that I would count that as a retraction without making it a full retraction publicly. At least I would know. Just saying that.
Well, yes. I hope you get one of those things.
Yeah, I'm not counting on it, to be honest, but it's worth it. Anyway, I'm just I'm wrapping up an article that I'm writing for the Ralph Retort about this, because I already wrote one about Evalion being banned. So hopefully that will raise awareness on this, because I don't have anything against her. I know she didn't do anything wrong besides making baseless accusations like that. Because if I had accused her of something in a video or an article without contacting her first or doing research, yeah, definitely publish a retraction myself to say, oh, sorry, I goofed. Or people would remind me, hey, did you do your research? So yeah, and she definitely admits that she didn't know what she was talking about. She was just taking a pot shot. And to me, it sounded like a deflection tactic. Somebody's accusing her of something, then okay, fine. She accuses somebody else of something to deflect the focus out of somebody else, to put somebody else on the spot.
Definitely. So everybody go subscribe to Feminist Flo on YouTube. It's at Feminist Period on Twitter. And check out the Ralph Retort where he's writing. And that's it for me. Thanks everyone who came in the chat log. Yeah. I hope Feminist Flo gets the retraction that I was classy enough to give Jaclyn Glenn with this video.
Yes, well, thank you for having me on, and like you said, hopefully I'll get it. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I just think there's been enough drama in the past between YouTubers, and if everybody would just communicate more, or just admit when they're wrong, or avoid to make accusations like that that are baseless, or just talk it out first, that would save a lot of issues, and people would have a better opinion of the YouTube community in general.